Hello everyone. Today we will be graphing quadratic function using substitution. So substitution means that each of the values that we have here for x will be plugged into the x in the equation to solve for y. So the y's are missing here, and to solve for y, again, we plug this into the x since these are all x's, and then we solve for y. So I'm going to take the first two problems here, and then we are going to graph it after. And then so let's have x is equal, let's do the -4 together. So x is equal to -4. So how do we do that? I will give you a trick on how to graph or on how to plug values into to solve for the y, how to plug values of x into the equation to solve for y. This is the trick. So you're going to write the equation. So this is the trick here. So y is equal to, the x will become a parenthesis. I would like to repeat, the trick here is so you can do the math correct, because sometimes if you don't put a parenthesis, then it gets you, it takes you to some confusion, and then later on, they're all messed up. So change the x into a parenthesis. Don't write anything inside the parentheses, just the parentheses. So parentheses squared plus 2 parentheses, because that's an x, minus 7. Again, so what I'm doing, change the x into parentheses. Don't write anything to it yet. Okay, since we know that x is -4, so we're solving for the first two. So I'm going to go ahead and write -4 and -4. Okay, so then we can do the math from here. So that is -4 times -4 is positive 16. So this writing a parenthesis is very important so you don't mess up with the math. Again, the trick is change the x into a parenthesis before you plug the value of x into the parentheses. So that's 16, and then positive 2 times -4 is a -8, and then we have a minus 7. So then our y would be 1. So this is the value of y when x is -4. So I'm going to write 1 over there. Now let's do -3 together. So I'm going to write x is equal to -3. Again, the trick, just like how we did it on the first part, write down the equation, but you change the x into a parenthesis. Do not put anything there. So parenthesis squared plus 2 parentheses minus 7. Now I will put in -3 inside the parentheses. So -3 and -3. And so we got -3 times -3 is a positive 9. 2 times -3 is a -6. We got a minus 7. And so the answer for this is y is equal to -4. So I'm going to go ahead and put -4 over here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try these other x values here on your own. And when you're done, unpause the video and check your answer. Okay, so when we do the math, exactly the same thing here. Again, the trick is change the x into a parenthesis before you put the value of x into it. So these numbers that we have here should be -7, -8, -7, -4, 1, and 8. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now we're ready to sketch the points for each of these. So -4 goes to 1, so it's going to be here. That's the first dot. And then -3 is to -4. So it's going to go down here. So that's the second dot. The next one is -2 and -7. So it's going to be down here. And then we have a -1 and -8. So it's going to be here. And then 0 and -7. So 0 and -7 is right there. And then 1 and -4 should be here. 1 and -4. And then 2 is to 1. So it's going to be up here. And then 3 is to 8, so it's going to be all the way up here. Now we are ready to draw or to sketch the graph. So this is the graph for this function. So connect the dots together. At the end of the line, please put an arrowhead. So as you can see, they all match up. So that means somewhere around at -5, it should go also to 8 because they are a match. So I can put that in there and draw the other side of the parabola here. Again, be sure that you put an arrowhead at the end of each of this branch here. That means it's going to go to infinity, but we don't have to draw the rest of them. So the arrowhead is telling us that there's more. Okay, it says here that we are supposed to label the vertex and the line of symmetry. So the vertex is actually this part right here. So I'm going to label this as the vertex. And then the line of symmetry is the line that divides this graph into two. So line of symmetry is on -1. So this is our line of symmetry. So the blue color is the line of symmetry. Line of symmetry means if we fold this parabola going to the right, this will match up. So the center between these 2 points is the line of symmetry. Okay, at this time, we're going to have the second example. This time around, we will have a value of, there is a coefficient for x squared. So let's do this all together. So we're going to do the first 2 problems again together, and then I will let you do the rest. So first, we are, again, the trick that I mentioned in the first graph is we change the x into a parentheses before we plug in. So I'll take the first 2. So x is equal to -4. So to write down the equation, that would be y equals -3. Again, the trick, change the x into a parentheses. Don't put anything. So that's squared minus 6 parentheses plus 1. So the x's turned into a parentheses. And so we are going to plug in -4 to this. So that's -4 and -4. So then we can go ahead and do the math here. So this is -3 times -4 times -4 is a positive 16. And then -4 times -6 is a positive 24. And then we get a plus 1. So then we have -3 times 16 is -48. Plus 24 plus 1 is 25. And so the y here is -23. So that's a -23 right there. Now let's have the other value. So I can put -23 already over here. So this is -23. Now let's have x is equal to -3. Let's do it all together. X equals -3. So then again, we write the equation. We change the x into a parentheses. Y equals -3 parentheses squared minus 6 parentheses plus 1. The one that we put into the parentheses is -3 and -3. So then we can do the math here. So this is -3 times -3 is a positive 9. -6 times -3 is a positive 18. And then plus 1. So this is an 18, so positive 18. So we have -3 times 9 is -27. 18 plus 1 is 19. So then our y is -8. So I put in -8 over here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try these other x's that we have here on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so if it's -2, the answer here should be 1, 4, 1, -8, -23, and -44. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now we're ready to sketch the graph for this. So we have -4 is to -23. It's not there, so we don't have to graph it. We only graph the ones that would fit into the graph. -3, -8. So it's going to be somewhere around here. So -3, -8 is this dot. negative 2, and positive 1. Negative 2 and positive 1 is right here. And then negative 1 and 4. So negative 1 goes to 4. And then we have 0 is to 1. So 0 goes to 1. So the 0 and the 1 is going to go over here. And then we have 1 and negative 8. 1 and negative 8 is going to be right here. And then we have 2 and negative 23. So it's off the graph, so we don't have to do it. So this is the shape of the graph. So we're going to connect it from the vertex. We are going to connect it this way. Again, we put an arrow. That means it's going to go forever. There are still like negative 23, but we don't have to do that because there's no space on the graph. So we do the same thing over here. So then we put an arrowhead again. And then after that, we will determine, because it says here we are supposed to determine the vertex. So our vertex is this. So this is our vertex. And our line of symmetry is the line that goes through the vertex. So the one in blue is the line of symmetry. Okay, so that's the line of symmetry. That's it. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!